Okay, guys. So for the tutorial today, I wanted to remind. I'm going to put this up here at the top. Actually, we're going to do number 3 and number 6 today. But I want to go ahead and make sure that everybody knows this is what? This is our dividend. Okay, and we talked about that today. Okay, and we have to remember that the dividend is what goes inside. Okay, now, so on this problem, and as I'm setting it up, and that was the issue some folks were having today, is as we set these up, okay, they didn't know exactly which one was the dividend, which one's the divisor. So obviously our 0.0224 is our divisor, and you guys will remember, if you watched the video earlier, you'll see it on there. I left it on the board from today, all nice and color coded. So if you want to see a little bit better representation of it, it's on there. But I did want to point this out before I started on the tutorial. So we've got 0.0024. Now, being that I know that's the divisor, okay, some of you were starting to do this. Okay, we could go right here to the problem and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I got to move it 4 times, and that'll leave me with 24. But let's do it like this just in case. Alright, so you set it up 0, 0, 2, 4. Okay? And if I'm going to move, and I just said this a while ago, so we're going to move 4 spaces with our decimal. Because remember, when we're solving these, you cannot have a decimal in our divisor. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I move my decimal in my divisor, I have to move it in my dividend. Okay, so it's got to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I've got these 3 spaces here. Well, I have to fill those with zeros, remember? So 0, 0, and 0. And my decimal would be right here now. So if I was going to move it up, I would go ahead and move it up to the top right there behind the 6,000. So essentially now my problem has went from 0.6 divided by 0.0024 to 6,000 divided by 24. Okay, as I work this out, so 24 is going into 60 how many times? It's going to go in 2 times. 2 times 24 gives me 48. Okay, so 0 minus 8, I can't do that, so I have to borrow. This will become a 5. Alright, 10 minus 8. Okay, we're subtracting here. 10 minus 8 is 2. Alright, and 5 minus 4 is 1. I check. 12 is less than 24, so I'm good. So then I'm going to bring down 0. Right? So I bring down my 0, so this will be my next digit here. So 24 is going to go into 120. Alright? I know it's 5, but the way I got there is I'm thinking if I estimate this to be 25, I know 25 times 5 is 125 because 5 quarters is $1.25. We all know that. So I'm going to try 5 first. Okay, 5 times 4 is 0. All right, carry the 2 because 5 times 4 is 20. I know that gets some of y'all every now and then. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. So that gives me 120. So 120 minus 120 gives me a 0. Now some of you today stopped there and just wrote 25 as your answer. You have to remember this last 0 still got to come down. Where's my decimal? It's here. So the last 0's got to come down. 24 into 0 goes 0 time, and my answer should be 250. Okay, so if you're looking over it, and that's a horrible 0. If you're looking over it, and you still got questions, ask me tomorrow and we'll go over it. I know some of you, I went over this question in class, but I still want to do it here for those that may have missed it. Now, number 6 caused us a lot of dismay today because for some reason, and we talked about this, some reason you guys automatically assume that the bigger number is the dividend, and that is not the case. Okay, the only time we worry about bigger, not bigger, but greater numbers is when we're talking about subtraction. So in this case, when I'm setting this problem up, okay, So which one's my dividend? The 12 or the 0.12 or 0.15? 0.12 is actually my dividend. Okay? So I'm actually taking 0.15, or I'm dividing 0.12 by 0.15. Now, some of you automatically did this today, and that's fine. I'm glad you're getting ready. You're starting to see that. All right, 2 places. So I got to go 2 places on my dividend. Right? So that puts my decimal place here. All right, and as we learned on yesterday, if it's in my dividend, then it is what it is, and it'll be up here. So now I've moved from here to here. So 15. All right, so 12 divided by 15. How many times is 15 going in 12? It goes in there 0 times, folks. 0 times 15 is 0. So this is using the standard algorithm. All right, 12 minus 0 is 12. Now what's my next step? Well, I have to annex this 0 and drop it down. Okay, once I drop it down. Now, I had this discussion today. So that gives me 120. And I told a couple people this today. I know 15 is half of 30, all right? And 30 would go into 124 times. So if I double that, because 15 is half of it, that means 8 is going to go 8 times 5 is 0. Carry the 4 because 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is 12. So 120 minus 120 gives me 0, and I come out clean. So my answer for number 6 is 0.8. Listen, guys, the problems that y'all were having was because we were trying to put 15 here and 12 there. All right. Other than that, we'll go over the others. I'll kind of give you an idea. This one's going to move over 1, so this will go over 1. Actually, it's going to go over 2, so this one I have to go over 2 as well. All right, as you're doing it, because you got to remember this is a divisor, so we're going as many places as the divisor goes. All right. Other than that, you guys work on the problems tonight. Hopefully, I know most of you got a lot of it done today. We'll talk about. I know there was questions about number 8. Okay, and I will tell you right now, the answer's in there on how to set this up. The biggest question is how we set it up. Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Remember, I said don't let that 1,000 miles, that 1,000 scare you. Okay, these are our numbers. You guys just need to figure out how we divide them, which one's my divisor and which one's my dividend. Okay, and the answer's in there. And the same down here. A couple people asked me about Raj today. We'll go over tomorrow in class. All right, but you know, your information, make sure we're looking at all of our information. Okay, and remember how I showed you how to do the equivalent fraction. So $1.50 is an hourly wage, so 1 hour is worth $5.50, and that's all I'm going to tell you. So you should be able to finish out the rest if you remember what we were talking about with equivalent fractions. All right, guys, that's the tutorial for today. See you tomorrow.